Catching up with Mayor Matthew Dickerson. Thank you so much for joining the show this morning, Dicko. And I hear that there's a way more of us around the community can get involved with official activities and events happening by joining committees.
Well, that's exactly right. And it is really important, I think. It's great. People can pick up the phone and they can ring a councillor or send an email to a councillor. But a more formal process in the past, many years ago, used to be a thing called a consultative committee. And we used to have a huge range of consultative committees, but they seem to have gone by the wayside for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. But basically, councillors now recommended that we form 16 various consultative committees. And they're committees that deal with a whole range of different parts of the communities. For example, if you've got an interest in the swimming pool or swimming clubs, for example, there'll be an aquatic centre working party or consultative committee. If you've got an interest in taking cattle through the livestock markets, then there's going to be a Dubbo Regional Livestock Market consultative committee. If you're focused on the villages, so we've got Stewarttown and Mumble and Ballymore and a whole range of villages around Dubbo, and you want to really focus on those, there'll be a village party consultative committee. So there's basically a whole range of different consultative committees. That recommendation goes to council formally. It went to the committees a week ago, but that will formally go to council next week. And then that'll go out for public opinion, public consultation, and really ask the community, are these all the committees you need? Do we need all those committees? Do you think this is a waste of time? Is there a burning committee that you really want to see as part of council? And then that'll come back to council to be formally ratified. Then we'll invite expressions of interest. And that's where the community can say, yes, please, I want to be on this committee. Hopefully we'll be inundated with applications for people to be on those committees, and then we can start running those committees. So it's a really good way to get that direct feedback from the community and make sure that we're doing what the community wants, because that's what we're here for after all.
Have you got a committee to run the committees?
Yeah, just about looks like that, doesn't it? We almost need that. Luckily, we've got professional and skilled council staff to run those committees.
That's council. Let's talk about Wellington solar farms. I went to Mudgee the other day. I'm amazed at the amount of solar panels out there on the way to the airport at Wellington.
It's incredible, isn't it? You come around that corner and you look like this ocean, this sea of solar panels. I actually quite like it. And the wind turbines there look fantastic as well. To give you an idea of the impact that whole area will have on this state in the near future, we've got the ones that are already up and running now, and we've got another couple of ones under construction and proposals there. Once they're finished, the amount of power that we will generate out of that Wellington area is about the equivalent of 1.35 million homes of power. Now, there's only 3 million homes in this state, so we'll be powering from that area about 45% of the state's homes. So that seems quite incredible to me. One of the things that people always talk about with solar and with wind is they say the sun doesn't always shine. Well, that's pretty obvious. The wind doesn't always blow. Well, that can happen as well. So to make sure you've got a uniform delivery of power, batteries at the moment are an important part of the mix. At the moment, there are no batteries in that area, but a company called Ampyr, AMPYR, has got a proposal in to build a battery, and that's going to go ahead. I can't see any reasons why it won't go ahead. And that's actually backed by Shell. And we had a presentation by the company that's actually going to be putting that in last week. And that just talked about the size and where it is, and it's next to the substation and a whole range of technical things. But the thing I found absolutely fascinating, Allo, was that company with the battery is owned by Shell. One of the major solar farms down there is owned by BP. BP and Shell you normally associate with oil, not with renewables, but those two companies will have an agreement where they'll sell power back and forth to each other as they need to. And the solar's got excess solar, for example, they'll sell it to the battery company, and when they've got power that's needed, say the middle of the night, they can sell it back to the solar company. So they'll have an agreement. So here you've got two gigantic oil companies that'll be putting an agreement together to make sure we can have renewable power. So that gives you a pretty clear indication of where the world's headed. If our governments aren't headed that way, then private industry certainly headed that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's some would say it's probably about time some of these major oil companies have started looking. I mean, you drive an electric car, you've got a Tesla yourself. A lot more cars on the market are going that way as well. So, yeah, interesting to see what the future holds.
Yeah, it is actually. And it is interesting. People keep talking about petrol prices and what we can do about solving the petrol price, hit the $2 barrier and then blasted through the $2 barrier. But no one seems to be suggesting the obvious I'm not that worried about petrol prices for me personally. I am from a community perspective, but I haven't put petrol in a car for about 7 years, so I don't know what everyone's worried about. Just go and buy an electric car. There's a solution to all the problems.
As an electric car owner, though, what was your bill like when you changed? Was there any change there?
In terms of when I charge up the electric car, do you mean? How much does it cost me?
I mean, obviously you pay an electricity bill to charge your car. Is that anything drastic?
Well, put it this way, there's a number of ways you can charge your car for free. So NRMA has got a number of chargers around the state. If you're happy to go and plug into an NRMA charger, and we've got one at the Cultural Centre here in Dubbo, then that's free. So you can plug in there for free. If you've got a Tesla, like I've got, a lot of the Tesla chargers are free depending on exactly the deal you got with your car. So often you can charge it for free, but if I do charge it from home, now I use solar panels to charge mine, but if I plugged in to a normal power point and charged it up, one of my cars has got a range of about 630 kilometres. To fill that up, if that was dead empty, to fill that up with electricity, it costs about $12. So in terms of the cost to actually run an electric car, incredibly cheap.
Yeah, $12 as opposed to $100 for a tank of fuel, or $150 at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Matthew Dickinson, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we'll catch up again same time, same place in a fortnight, I guess.
Thanks, Ella. Great to be chatting.